Are you new in Canada or are you wondering what TFSA is about or how to use it? Don't worry. I was once in your shoes. I was once clueless. In fact, you could say I was a result of lack of information until my desire for knowledge grew. Just the way yours is growing right now for you to be watching this video. And I discovered information that I then implemented, which I'm about to share with you. So stay tuned. Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Davinci, your wealth and mindset coach. I am here to provide to you financial literacy content that would help you build your wealth mindset that would allow you to achieve your financial freedom goals. Yes, welcome. So the number one thing, what is a TFSA account? TFSA essentially stands for tax-free savings account. Although the name says tax-free savings account, the actual name should be tax-free investment account. You should use your TFSA account for investments, and that is what I use mine for, and that's what I advise people to use theirs for as well. Why? When you put money in your TFSA account and you invest in the stock market or in index funds or whatever it is you choose to invest in, whatever interest or rate of return you get on that investment is tax-free. Why is that important? In Canada, every income you earn is taxed, meaning that after you've gotten good money, you have little or no money to hold on to yourself. So that venue you can get to legally avoid paying tax, everyone is going to grab it. And that is what a TFSA is here to do, to help you grow your wealth in a way that is quite conservative, right? I say conservative, and I'll explain that soon. So this takes me to my second point, the benefits. Number one, the benefits is that it's tax-free. Number two, you can give to your spouse your contribution room. So if you have $1,000 left in your contribution room and your spouse already used up his or her contribution room, you can give that. The other thing with that is if you die in the future and your spouse is named as a beneficiary to this account, whatever it is that was earned and the total amount can be transferred to your spouse tax-free. So the person can start growing whatever it is that you had tax-free as well. The third thing is if you do withdraw money from this account, you don't have to pay tax on it. Just as we mentioned, it says it's tax-free account. And whatever it is you withdraw, you still have that room. So let's say you withdraw 1,000. At the end of the year, that 1,000 will be returned back to you in the following year. How does this work? You have a $7,000 max TFSA account. You take out $1,000 this year, maybe in February or March. Right now, you have a gap of $1,000 in your TFSA account, which you can still reinvest back in. However, not now. You have to wait till January 1st next year, and that amount will be added to your new amount for January 1st. Because January 1st is when your amount or your new contribution is added. So every year, there's always a new contribution. This year, 2025, the contribution is $7,000. Last year, it was $7,000 as well. So you will be looking at an extra $7,000 plus the $1,000 that you deducted last year. Number three, who is eligible to have a TFSA account? If you're over 18 years old watching this, you're eligible. If you reside in Canada and you're currently watching this, you're eligible. If you have a SIN account and you're residing and you have all these three, essentially you're eligible to have a TFSA account. So do not stop. If you know you're eligible when you're watching this right now, go to your bank and go open a TFSA account. Number four, understanding your TFSA contribution account. If you've been in Canada since 2009, which was when the TFSA program started, you should have up to $102,000 contribution room, which is amazing. But unfortunately, many of us haven't been here for that long. So if you came into Canada last year, your contribution room this year will be $14,000. That's $7,000 last year, $7,000 this year, $14,000. If you came into Canada this year, your contribution room is $7,000. If you came into Canada in 2023, your contribution room is $20,500. And if you came into Canada in 2022, your contribution room is $26,500. And if you came into Canada in 2021, your contribution room is $32,500. So you see how this works. This is a breakdown on the screen right now showing you how the TFSA maximum limit is calculated yearly. So as I mentioned earlier, December 31st of every year is when the CRA will calculate how you've spent or what is left of your TFSA account. And if you perhaps still have $1,000 left in your TFSA account that is not used, it will be carried forward to next year. And next year will be January 1st. So January 1st will be the date you'll be getting your new room. So perhaps the CRA says this year they've increased the contribution room to 8,000. So if you had 1,000 left from last year plus 8,000 this year, now you have a room of 9,000. And that is how it's worked. So with that in mind, my advice to you then will be that if you were to make a withdrawal, perhaps you want to buy a house or you want to buy a car, I don't advise to use your TFSA for a house because there's a different account for that purpose called the FHSA. I will talk about it in a different video. But let's just say you want to take a huge amount of money for a huge investment for something else. It's best that you wait towards the end of the year because you cannot reinvest that money in that same period. Again, going back to my analogy, you have 7,000 room, you max it out, but you took 1,000 out. Do not think you can put that 1,000 back that same year. No, you have to wait till January 1st next year to put it back in. So if you're looking to take a huge amount of money out now, you have to wait till next year to put the amount of money back. So you have to plan your deductions, plan accurately. The fifth thing is, if you're clueless or confused on how to calculate your contribution, depending on what year you entered Canada, you can easily just log into your CRA account right now. I was also a bit confused at some points, and I logged into my CRA account and I saw my contribution limit because I know I had used part of it in the past without using the full thing. Until I realized, oh, this is how much room I had left and this is how much room I can use in full right now. And I mentioned to you, this gets updated every year. So the easiest thing you want to do is log into your CRA account and it gives you your information. So if you don't have a CRA account, I'll leave the link in the description below so that you can open a CRA account for free. So number 6, where can you open a TFSA account? The first time I opened a TFSA account was at a bank or a financial institution. So any bank closest to you is your best bet. However, the funny story is when I did go into the bank to open my TFSA account, I was, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, very clueless. I was very aware that TFSA account is a good account to have, but I didn't understand the usefulness. I didn't understand the benefit and how I could use it, how I could use it. So I did go open the account and left it empty. The financial advisor asked me, oh, so what do you want to put in it? I'm like, I'm not sure, I don't know. And he didn't even give me an advice. The financial advisor did not give me an advice. I kind of get disappointed at these advisors that are supposed to be advising. Anyways, so yeah, I left that account for a couple of months until I equipped myself with knowledge on how TFSAs work and what I should use it for, which I'm going to be sharing with you, or which I'm already sharing with you right now. So yeah, you can just go into a bank, open a TFSA, or you can use any online banks. Right now, I have a TFSA account on Wealthsimple, which then allows me to buy stocks, buy ETFs, and invest in my TFSA so that any interest I earn on that investment will go tax-free. And that's what I advise you to do. If you are not sure of using Wealthsimple, you can use any other financial institution. I did my deep research. In fact, I'm going to be doing a video on how I made a choice on Wealthsimple for most of my investments and my high interest savings accounts in a totally different video. So make sure you're on the lookout for that particular video. However, you can use any accounts or any financial institution to open your TFSA account. If you specifically want to use Wealthsimple, click the link in the bio and then you'll be given the direct access to Wealthsimple. All right. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty, number 7, how to use your TFSA. For the longest of time, I was clueless. Your TFSA account, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is great for investment, not necessarily for savings. Your savings can be anywhere. You can put your savings in your TFSA account, but that's not making the best use of your TFSA. So you want to look at getting high interest or low interest investments. If you are a beginner, you want to start with the GICs or high interest savings account. You can get GICs at any financial institution, including Tangerine and a couple of other accounts as well. You can also use your TFSA to put in high interest savings account. So what does that actually mean? This is where your money is growing with a higher interest. In most banks, when you save your money in there, your money is perhaps growing by 1% or 0.001%. So this is where you do your research and say, which of these banks will be giving me at least more than 2%? And then you put your money in there. You know that whatever it is that you gain as an interest will be tax-free. That is for beginners. Now, if you're an experienced investor or you don't see yourself as a beginner, you see yourself more as an intermediate or an experienced investor, you can be looking at buying ETFs or stocks. So you want to make informed decisions on what kind of stocks to buy or what kind of ETFs to buy. And yeah, once you make those decisions and know what you want to buy, use your TFSA, invest in it. Look for something that gives you an average rate of return of 5%, 6%, 7% and above. So right now on the screen is an example. If you came into Canada the same year I entered, which was in 2021, your contribution room should be $32,500. And if the contribution room continues to be $7,000 for the next 10 years, and you agree to continue to invest fully and use up your contribution room, and you decide that your interest rate is 5%, and you invest in GICs or stock that has a 5% interest rate that compounds yearly, and you decide that you want to invest for 10 years, in the next 10 years, your capital plus your interest will now be $140,984.32. On that, you would have gained an interest of $38,000. So about $102 is your capital. The second example is using the same capital, which is your contribution right now. If you max it out to $32,500 and you then continue to do $7,000 yearly, if that's the highest contribution limit yearly, this time you'll have a 9% interest rate. Depending on your choice of investment that's compounded yearly, and you also decide to do a 10 years growth plan. In 10 years, your total investment in this particular account will be $183,289.83. On that, you would have gained $80,000 worth of interest. And that just shows you the power of compounding. So this shows to you the power of compounding, forecasting and planning, because if you don't plan towards it, I highly doubt you'll be able to reach it. The difference between the first option and the second option is the percentage rate of return. So you want to make informed decisions on what kind of investment would give me an average rate of return that I'll be satisfied with. Am I satisfied with 140,000 in the next 10 years? Am I satisfied with 183,000 in the next 10 years? Are there other investments I can put my money in as well? So don't forget that the idea behind this is that your money is growing tax-free. The other investment you can put your money in that would also grow even at a higher rate, but not necessarily tax-free. I'll leave the link in the description to this calculator that I used as well. Number 8, we get into the common mistakes people make. Do not over-contribute. Remember I mentioned that you have a 7,000 contribution room, at least for this year and last year. So you don't want to put 7,001 or 7,010 or 8,000. Why? You're going to get penalized. What's the point of having a tax-free account when you're going to get penalized with 1% of whatever it is that you've invested? So avoid that at all costs. If you're a trader, you are considered a businessman or a businesswoman. So if you're trading using your TFSA account, guess what? You're still going to pay tax. So I don't advise you to use your TFSA account to trade, because it's still going to be considered a business income, because you're earning daily or sometimes weekly from your investment or from your daily trading. So make informed decisions, know what is have good knowledge of where to put your money and for what purpose you're putting your money. So if you're a long-term investor, so definitely use your TFSA account to grow your investments. Common mistake people make when investing is putting their eggs in one basket. I would just advise you, the short advice is don't put your eggs in one basket, diversify your investment, buy stocks, buy ETFs that you are familiar with. Invest in things that you have knowledge in, so that you know you're making the right investment. I'm just going to give you 2 points in one in regards to common mistakes people make. Just going back to some of the things I've shared earlier, always try to schedule your withdrawals for December, just so that you can keep track of how much you have left in your contribution room, which leads me to my second point. If you're always withdrawing perhaps once a month in the 12 months in the year, sometimes you don't know how much you've withdrawn for the whole year. And if you were to reinvest that money back, you have to wait till next year. It can be a lot to keep up with. So avoid confusion in your investment or your contribution room. Just try and be organized. Try and schedule your withdrawals for December. Or you can just log into the CRA website, where you can easily see how much you have for the year. The thing with that though is that they usually calculate it December 31st and give you a new room in January 1st. So it can be dicey, so just be careful. Which takes me to my next point. Regularly check your CRA account for your contribution room or reach out to a financial advisor in the bank closest to you to answer any questions that you might have. And check the CRA website for more of their rules and regulations. I'm going to be leaving the link to their website so that you can know more about TFSAs from the CRA's point of view. Be knowledgeable, acquire as much knowledge as you can. Knowledge is power. Now, the 9th point I have for you today is the similarities between TFSA, FHSA, RRSP, RESPs. There are many accounts or programs created to help people either defer the tax or grow their money tax-free. Now, the major benefit to having TFSA compared to these other accounts is that your money can grow tax-free and there's no limit to how you use your money. In an RSP, your tax is deferred. There are rules on when you should pay the money back when you withdraw it. There are a couple of rules which you don't experience with TFSA. I will in the future make a video comparing TFSAs to RSP, FHSA, and RESP. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that if you want to buy a house, maybe look at FHSA instead of TFSA. However, how you use your money is up to you. It's personal. Financial planning is very personal. However, I do have one-on-one sessions with people who need help with just having to think of what is possible. Some people are unable to grasp that wealth is possible to achieve. And that is where we deal with mindset. So if you want to book a one-on-one session to help with your mindset coaching for wealth, I can help you with that. Just click the link in the description to book a session with me and we'll walk you through that process. That's 1. 2. But 2, if you're looking to learn how to grow financially and looking for ideas, looking for knowledge, feel free to book a session with me as well. We will brainstorm together and I definitely will love to help you. My goal on this channel is to see more people live financially free by empowering them with knowledge and follow-up. I am very big on follow-up. So if you book a session with me, get ready to experience a detailed follow-up session with me after that first session that you book with me. And if you prefer to have a tool that can help you think through why you think the way you do and help you reach the wealth mindset you hope to achieve, I have a wealth mindset workbook that gives you detailed questions and walks you through a couple of information I have gathered has helped me grow my wealth mindset as well, which I have shared on this channel. Click the link in the description as well to be able to download a copy of the wealth mindset workbook or the financial planner as well that helps you forecast your wealth goals, that also helps you plan and identify leakages in your finances. Yes, I have all the tools for you, so it's up to you now. What you do with it is up to you. Your life is a result of many things, but one thing I would say, your life is a result of the choices you make and the choices you don't make. So what choice are you making today? Last week, I shared the video where I was able to interview a couple of people in downtown Victoria, where they shared their best and worst financial decision. That video is value packed, and I definitely advise you to go watch that video. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Subscribe, like this video, and share this with a friend.